So Aston Martin decided to send your boy that brand new 2025 Aston Martin Vantage V8, and this joint is historical on so many different levels, and I'm gonna tell you what it's like living with it for the past week that I've had it. The good, the bad, and of course, everything in between. But if you wanna watch a car review where I talk about just the features of this car, click that 5-minute format below in the description. But without further ado, let's get to it. Now, right off the rip, we got to talk about the performance side of this whip, because we got a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 producing 656 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque, giving you a top speed of 202 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. What is not to like or love about that? Now, while on the topic of performance, we gotta talk about this suspension along with the handling capabilities in this car. Because I'm telling you, you could go around some bends and some corners at the highest velocity with the highest rate of magnitude. I don't even know how I'm even trying to break down this logistical information to give it to y'all. This joint will bend the block however you want, whenever you want. Now, my all-time favorite feature about the Aston Martin Vantage in general is the exhaust note. I don't care if you got the old Moog or the new Moog like the one I'm in right now. Snap, crackle, and pop comes straight from the factory. The only other car that's kind of similar within that sports car world at a much cheaper price, because it's like the baby brother, it ain't a peer and it damn sure ain't the big brother, is the Jaguar F-Type R. Snap, crackle is crazy in that joint too, and it sounds amazing. I also did a review on that, so check that out in the 5-minute format. But this joint on here, I love that exhaust note. You can't tell me nothing about it. Listen, let's go to war in the comments, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, this is one of the best sounding V8s on the market in 2025, straight from the factory. And my dog, Mr. Organic, even has one in Miami. If you don't know who Mr. Organic is, make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. The link's below in the description, but he also has an Aston Martin Vantage as well. Now, once you get past the exhaust note, the only thing that's coming close to that is the way these joints look. They look so aesthetically pleasing with that big chunky monkey rear diffuser in the back with the side skirts. Man, them joints get dirty real easy. You want to get some of that Barrett's Automotive sensational shampoo and fantastic wash and wax to keep them joints clean, man. Click the link below in the description. And then you got that massive front grille along with that legendary front lip splitter. But this paint job, along with all these different black accents, like the side mirrors and the roof, really sets this joint off. It looks spectacular. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The only thing that can make it look more spectacular is Barrett's Automotive spectacular ceramic wax. Make sure you get yours by clicking the link below in the description to have your car shine like new money, because you know this whip costs a whole lot of money. But guess what? The best thing about Barrett's Automotive is you ain't got to spend that much money to look like money. So why wouldn't you get yours? Click that link below in the description right now. The rim and tire setup on this car is legendary. It looks really good and aesthetically pleasing with those rims and with those Michelin Sport S's on that thing. I rock with them. You know, them pilot moves too, so you got to salute to them, because them joints hook up really good and they also look really good, but they look even better when you got some of that Barrett's Automotive magic tire sheen on them things, really making them shine and come to life like magic. But at the same time, those rims look really good too, and they're a little labor intensive to clean though. I gotta keep it a stack with you. In the past week that I've had, I cleaned it many times, and those rims are a bit tough. The doors on this car ain't regular degular, baby. These joints are called slide up doors, which means they go up to avoid things like high street curves and different things like that. But inside the door, you got that leather and Alcantara, along with leather and Alcantara on the seats. In fact, it's all over inside this car on the B-pillars and roof liner, and even on the dash with leather and carbon fiber, giving it a little extra stank on that thing. Now, we got to talk about this Bowers and Wilkins sound system, because not only does this joint look aesthetically pleasing all over the dash with the nicely designed speakers and on the door, but they also sound just as good as they look, which is major, because y'all know I'm hypercritical about sound systems. These speakers and the sound system matches the price tag that this car is asking, and that's a very big deal. But I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, from the very beginning, I almost canceled this sound system out in this particular whip because I thought the speakers were messed up or something, because when I first took delivery of this car and I'm just going about my day running errands here and there, the sound system, when hooked up to the Apple CarPlay, would always go in and out non-stop consistently. It doesn't matter if the car was on, off, turned it off, turned it back on, didn't matter. It would just constantly go in and out. And I never knew what it was that was making it do that. So I thought it was a sound system, or maybe it was a speaker blown in here, or something happened. And long story short, my dog Farid was out shooting this car, and he noticed that when his car was on CarPlay, it was doing the same thing. So he took it off CarPlay and synced it to only Bluetooth. And when you go through Bluetooth, he noticed that it never has that problem. The audio is consistent and legendary. So shout out to my dog Farid for noticing that, man. Make sure y'all follow all his social media handles, because all these visuals and legendary graphics and different things like that, my wife is adding on the editing side, and then Farid captures all of the visuals. So we're like the 96 Bulls, man. Y'all, the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry there, man, with the 3-peat type, even though they had the 2, but they almost got 3. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. This is definitely that as well, with just not the aesthetically pleasing with the looks, but the performance and also the comfort in here at my height, like I mentioned. But this car's audio sound system might be the big four. You know, usually it's the big three. It's the big four in this joint. I love the audio in this car. But like I said, it was almost canceled out because of that Apple CarPlay. So that must be a bug that Aston Martin has to fix, well, must fix actually, in this infotainment screen, because this car is just too legendary for the CarPlay. And if you're like any other person like me, you would just assume the sound system is compromised, when in fact, it's just you got to go to Bluetooth, not CarPlay. And that's kind of unfortunate, because that's the whole point of CarPlay, is to make sure that you ain't got to use the GPS on your phone and you can just look at it right through the infotainment screen. So that is a love, like, and damn near dislike all in one. So this next thing supersedes a dislike and is leaning more towards the hate side for me. I got to keep it real. And it's the fact that you got to turn your lane keep assist off in this car every single time you get in this car. Unless there's something that I haven't figured out or I'm tripping, you got to turn that lane keep assist off every single time right there on your center console. And then after you press that button, you got to go to your infotainment screen and then physically deactivate it by pressing another button. And then your lane keep assist is automatically off at that point. But is it even automatically once you got to do all that? I'm used to being in a car, like if I want the lane keep assist on, I turn it on. It don't just come on with the car, because I don't know if this is just me or if I'm tripping, but I don't use lane keep assist if I'm not on the highway mixed with the adaptive cruise control, or if I'm in a different car with some form of self-driving, or I'm on a long road trip. I'm not using lane keep assist on side roads and just running errands day to day, light to light. And this is how I know if I'm in this car or any other car, if the lane keep assist is on. It usually startles you, unless I'm tripping. Y'all give me y'all testimonies below. But like all of a sudden you'll be driving and all of a sudden it just jerks over to the left or right. And you're like, oh, what was that? And then you're like, oh, damn, lane keep assist. And you got to go turn that stuff off. That's me personally in my experiences with lane keep assist, but y'all let me know what y'all experiences are. And the fact that this always has to be turned off as soon as you get in the car, I had to mention that as a pure dislike, because I don't like that. I love this steering wheel with the flat bottom with that piano finish and the like touch sensitive buttons on here, along with them Wolverine type Edward Scissorhand paddle shifters. Legendary. Have no critiques there. I absolutely love that digital gauge cluster as well. You can reconfigure it and all that extras with it. It's nice. It's really, really nice. But I would have to say on the steering wheel, the only critique I have for it that's a pure dislike is the fact that you have a skip forward song. Like the whole point of being in a car that gets disactivated or this extracurricular and can really get down on the performance side is to keep your hands on the wheel at all times. But this one makes it to where you got to take your hands off the wheel just to skip a song backwards, because you got to skip forward song on your steering wheel, but you can't skip or rewind a song through the steering wheel, which is really weird to me, because I mean, if I'm in this joint, I'm getting activated, I'm in here bumping and jumping and I'm really rocking with the song that I just listened to, I might just want to run that thing back and recycle it. Y'all know you'll do it all the time. You know, I don't want to have to keep it on repeat, because I might want to do some little extracurriculars after that. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have to go pick up my phone or go through the infotainment screen. Well, in this one, you can't rewind. You got to do it through the infotainment screen, and that just means you got to take your hands off the road. So I have to give that dislike, because I think that was such a simple thing that didn't have to be not missing. It could have been there very easily. So the fact that it's not, I got to give it a dislike, because you go and skip forward. I got to give them like half credit. That's what I give them. I give them half credit, because there is a skip forward song, but the skip backwards, I'm gonna need that. Come on, man. Oh, this is definitely a hate. For a car of this magnitude and price tag, and it's hand built with all this luxury, refinement, and luxuriousness, how do I not have a trunk that doesn't open and close electronically? Come on, man. Like, you got a button right here on the driver's door that'll let you pop the trunk, but the trunk won't open all the way. It just pops open like it's just a slight ajar. And then to close it, there's a leather grip, and you gotta slam the trunk closed. For this, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars price tag, I shouldn't have to slam nothing on this car, including these doors, which don't have soft closing doors either. You gotta shut that joint sturdy too. So it's like, for a car of this magnitude and price tag, those are things that I think should just be standard. Like that trunk, I should not have to lift up myself or slam close myself. I don't even want nobody slamming my damn doors. And you slamming my trunk in a car that's this expensive? Nah. My next dislike is a dislike that doesn't even have to be in this video, and it's these sun visors. I love the way they're wrapped in Alcantara. I love the little thing you put your finger in and slide the mirror open. It feels real refined and prestigious. I like that a lot, because this is a prestigious whip. But you cannot detach or extend these sun visors. They can only block out the sun in front, but just not on the side. And I just can't understand why that would ever be something that somebody would just approve. Like, that's the whole point of some visor. Block it out on the front, block it out on the side. But the fact that I can never use it on the side mook is crazy to me. So that's definitely a dislike to me. Next up, we have to talk about the fact that both the driver and passenger get memory seats in this car, which is great living with, if they were actual real memory seats, which these ones are not. And what do I mean by real memory seats? I should only have to press 1, 2, or 3 in order for that seat to adjust to how I had it before. And I mean just press, not press and hold, just press. And unfortunately, you gotta press and hold. And y'all know how much I don't rock with that. They are not real memory seats if I have to press and hold the button. Because if that's the case, I might as well just go through the regular adjustments myself, and I'm gonna be able to do it maybe 2, 3 times quicker than just holding the button. So I don't like that. So I'm gonna give that a dislike. I ain't even gonna lie to you, because why? My next dislike is something that I just can't understand how this made it past production in a car this expensive. Why do we have such comfortably bolstered, super plush seats that are nice in design are only heated, not cooled? And they look cool, so why can't they be cooled? Like, I just can't understand that for the betterment of me. And speaking of your heated seat options, this center console looks really good along with the infotainment screen, but since it got that piano finish, it's gonna get dirty very easily. So you wanna make sure you got some of that Barrett's Automotive exceptional interior cleaner to make sure that joint stays nice and polished, just like your wallet, because that's what it got to be for you to have a car like this. Now, we've talked about some of my likes, some of my dislikes, some of my hates, and some of my loves. So now we have to talk about some things that are neutral, that I just feel like I don't like, I don't dislike, I don't hate it, I don't love it, but it's just something worth mentioning to y'all about this car. And one of the things that you have to know is that whenever you're turning up the volume or temp or anything on the center console cockpit, a lot of times you accidentally turn on the heated seats. My dog Farid also pointed this out to me, and then it started to happen to me a lot. And I don't think I noticed that at first, but even while I was just sitting there filming, I was turning on the fan because it gets real hot in here sometimes filming, and I accidentally turned on my heated seats. And literally, I'm in here like, damn, why is it hotter than normal? Like, and then I look down and then the heated seats were on. So I gotta just mention that to y'all. Like I said, it's not a like, it's not a dislike, because if you're practicing like your hand placement and like putting your hands in the right space at the right time, those things won't happen, but you gotta be very strategic on what you're hitting it with. You can't just be doing run-of-the-mill swiping your hands across things, because those heated seats will get activated. So my next neutral thing is gonna be this infotainment screen. I love the design of it. I like the high resolution, but it's not the most intuitive and easy to use. Like, you can swipe the screen from left to right to get to a shortcut menu. Like, I literally just found that out yesterday, and I've had it for a week. And then you can swipe from top of the screen to the bottom to get to your settings and different things like that through there as well. And it's a bit laggy at times too. So it can use better graphics, because even when you go through the drive modes, it got like the Silver Surfer kind of look for the whip, but I would want better than that. Like, even if you go through the camera angles, it's like the Silver Surfer of your car, but I would prefer to see my actual car with my actual paint job in like a real life kind of display. This one kind of looks like something that was like in a concept, and then he just kind of kept it. Like, I would like something more specific to the whip that I actually own in the infotainment screen, and the driving graphics and modes are kind of the same way for me. So they could be a little bit more exciting in that regard, but the digital gauge cluster kind of makes up for that. But I do like the design of both. The infotainment screen could just be a bit better, and like I said, it can be very laggy at times, and there's times where it's just completely unresponsive, and there's times where it kind of kicks in later, and it's just, there's some bugs that needs to be worked out with it. But it's not a like, it's not a dislike, it's not a hate, it's not a love. It's just a neutral thing that I want to mention to y'all. Now, my next neutral thing is gonna have to be with these seats being this premium, this nice, and this luxurious. I wish they had massaging seats. Now, this might be a thing just biased to me because I'm an abnormally tall human being, but I've realized and noticed in this car, even though I got good headroom and legroom, my back be hurting in this joint, like my lower back. And I usually deal with that with cars that are really small, and I find myself like hunching down to look out of the windshield and stuff like that, even though I might got good headroom, because you got to think your most basic street lights, I'm pulling up and I'm doing this, you know. All my tall people out there, they understand. If you can't relate, you might not never know, but just hike your seat up in the adjustments and then just try doing that, and your back will start to hurt over time, just kind of looking down. And I'm just used to it. But at the same time, I'm also used to cars of this price tag coming with massaging seats. And I just think that this car could have easily had it for this price tag. And I think it would have been more befitting of what they're asking to kind of have that. And that's just my personal bias. But like I said, it's a neutral thing. Most people might not even rock with that altogether or like massaging seats at all. I might even think it's a gimmick. But I like massaging seats. And I noticed, I just did a review on the CT5V Blackwing, and it had massaging seats at the most bone gristle level. Like that had to be the bone of bone gristle level of massaging seats. And I noticed that that keeps my back kind of like not so stiff sometimes. And like I said, if you don't deal with those things and you're not a tall person and you don't feel that you don't have those lower back issues, then maybe this wouldn't apply to you. But it's just something worth mentioning that I would like to see in a car of this price tag. Now this next one is a bit tricky as a neutral thing because it was almost a dislike for me, even though it's still a neutral thing for me. Right now, as we stand and speak today through this camera, it is the ambient lighting. The ambient lighting, I have to give them credit for having ambient lighting, but it's some of the weakest ambient lighting I've ever seen in a car of this price tag. Like for instance, I just did a CT5V Blackwing, and that car's $100,000, and the ambient lighting was far more superior than this Aston Martin, which is kind of unacceptable to me because this car is in the hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s range, whereas the Cadillac CT5V was $100,000. So I can't understand. There could have been better ambient lighting, maybe here through the center cockpit, you know, across the dash. But Aston Martin is also a conservative brand, so that's why I say it's neutral. So maybe they intended, obviously they had to intend for it to be conservative because it's like this, you know, where I would prefer it to be a little bit extra'd out. You know what I mean? Like the most modern cars in 2025. And they kept it real conservative. So for me, I got to give it like a neutral thing to just throw it out there because I thought the ambient lighting would be fire in this car because, you know, it is so special. It is so hand built. And, you know, most cars at this price tag, the ambient lighting is usually flooded throughout here. So I got to give them credit for adding it, but then not full credit because it ain't enough, if that makes sense. So that's everything that your boy got to talk about on what it's like living with the brand new 2025 Aston Martin Vantage V8. And if y'all like this joint just as much as I did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Even if you're old to the channel and a long-time supporter, man, make sure y'all go over there and rock with our car wash products at Barrett's Automotive. We would greatly appreciate that. But even if you can't support the campaign by getting the car wash products, we appreciate y'all just watching this video. And like I said, if you're new or an OG supporter, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Helps with the YouTube algorithm, man, and we'll see you on the next video. You did!